Fantasy Football Show.
Hello everybody and welcome to Tot&HAM, the weekly show from Planet FPL where we discuss Tottenham and West Ham in a little more detail. Why do we do that, James?
Because we talk about it too much in the main podcast like I did yesterday.
Well, look, to be honest, we had 9 games. One was only finished yesterday, the West Ham game. So I ceded my West Ham time to you yesterday in the main pod. I might claim a little bit of it back.
You just said something to me before you started the pod.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's part of the pod.
It's
Is
the
that
title of the
opening?
show.
What's it called?
So we're talking about the Liverpool-West Ham game yesterday.
Yeah.
Every pundit I have heard since yesterday, including Carragher, Neville, and so on and so on and so on, has said if West Ham play like that between now and the end of the season, they'll be fine. I said Matthew 7:15 in the Bible, beware of false prophets.
Have you looked through the old Bible to find that? Or
No, I've known the phrase beware of false
okay.
prophets. I had to Google it to find out where in the Bible it was.
Matthew 7:15. Can't we just call it beware of false prophets?
No, yeah, we'll call it just beware of false prophets because
No, I'm calling it Matthew 7:15.
We'll start with the game yesterday, and admittedly, we saw a better West Ham performance for periods of the game. But ultimately, we did go on to lose again from a winning position. There was so many elements to the game. You're talking about the goalkeeping mistakes as well, and the ebbing and flowing of the match. Yesterday was firstly, let's get this done and dealt with. That was a great example of offside VAR, done, dusted. It took about 15 seconds. We knew could have been offside, clearly offside.
It was a lot quicker than some of the
There
others.
were no lines drawn, none of that
didn't
nonsense.
Need that. I think everybody watching on the TV, as soon as they saw the replay, went,
Off,
he's
done,
off.
and game carried
Don't
on.
fuck about with it, just do it.
And game
That's
carried on.
better.
Better.
It's still 12 seconds
Not
too long
ideal,
for me.
but better.
Yeah.
In much the same way that we had the increased energy levels in terms of performance against Man City. Again, yesterday, I thought the team did put a shift in and worked hard. And against the likes of Man City and Liverpool, you're going to have to. I didn't know until I heard it in the Sky commentary yesterday that Souček in the Man City game broke our record for the most distance run by a player in a game this season, 13 kilometres. And since he's come in, like this is his third, fourth game, he is definitely more mobile than so many of the midfielders we have. Like he'll get box to box and he'll cover the ground particularly well. So I was happy with the work rate and the effort. I think if you look at both the City game and the game yesterday, Declan Rice's heat maps, he was further forward for more periods of the game than he has pretty much all season. Like he patrols that area outside the box for so much of the game, both against City and yesterday. There were periods where he was the furthest forward midfielder, so he was definitely more mobile.
It was his assist for Fornell's goal, wasn't it?
A nice little cross in, but there was still issues where we couldn't keep the ball for long periods. In the first half, there were periods where we did pass it around, but then the majority of the time when we got the ball, we lost it within 3 or 4 minutes. Haller came on and didn't offer anything.
Within 3 or 4 minutes?
3 or 4 touches. Sorry, 3 or 4 touches. That's what I meant. Haller came on and didn't offer much. Bowen with his chance could have done better. I'm not sure at the end there. But look, ultimately,
it's a good save, although fortuitous that he hit
how
Alisson in the
many?
face.
Not many teams go to Anfield and score 2 goals. David Moyes is 100% right that our season starts now with Southampton this week. But I've seen it week in, week out. We know West Ham can get themselves up for the big games and then don't deliver in the other games. And that's why we are where we are at the bottom of the table. So beware of all these false prophets. West Ham will be all right if we carry on playing like that. The truth is, out of 23 or 24 out of the 27, 28 games we played this season, we haven't played like that. So there's no evidence just because we did it against Liverpool at Anfield that that's what's going to happen against Southampton this week.
So are you happier than you were this time yesterday or not?
Yes.
Because you should be, I think.
Yes, for a number of reasons. One, the work rate. I think we put a shift in both games.
I think that's all you ask when you go to Liverpool.
Of course. But secondly, we kept the ball a bit better, and Antonio did particularly well holding the ball up. So I think our fluidity and transition into attack was a lot better. We were dangerous at set pieces. Antonio bullied Alisson at the set pieces just by standing in front of him and being a nuisance. Some would say he was a bit cheat. It was on the border of being a pain in the arse. So
Fine.
Set pieces, we were good. Anderson, I thought, coming back from injury, got a good 60, 70 minutes under his belt. So I would like to see exactly the same formation line up on Saturday against Southampton.
I don't know if that's right. To kind of go back a few sentences, we were talking about Rice. Now, I didn't watch the Man City game, but the striking thing for me last night was it felt like he had some help.
With Souček?
Souček. I mean, basically, for me, Noble played in front of the other two, and it was basically a 4-2, an alternative version of a 4-2-3-1. And all I mean by that was Antonio was trying to pull onto Gomez so much. He was kind of trying to stay away from Van Dijk.
Yeah, understandably.
And trying to get in sort of in behind. We've spoken about it. I've spoken about Son trying to target Liverpool in that way in previous games in the past. Trying to target that area in between Alexander-Arnold and Gomez, where if you get it right, you can do them over. And there was a clear target there, I think. But
yeah, Gomez handled Antonio reasonably well on the whole. But
to go back to Rice, there's been so many games where when you've gone and played like this 4-1-4-1, particularly at times under Pellegrini earlier in the season, it just felt like, if I think back to the game against us, like the way Ali was coming from a centre forward position back into that hole, like he was getting broken, mate, because he was on his own. And I wouldn't even look back and go, it's his fault. It just felt like he needed some help.
He was isolated a little bit. I think Souček is a central midfielder. I like him. Tall, engine. He's got a real engine, and he's only just got into the Premier League. But I think he could make it as a Premier League player. Some of these foreigners come in. I do like him a lot. So yeah, I'm much more confident. I need to see that. I think the fans will get behind the team at the weekend after that performance. I also think the fans will get behind Fabianski at the weekend because he had a shocker. There's no denying it. But the amount of times that he's got us out of a hole, and he made a few really good saves yesterday as well. So I want to see a rocking London Stadium at the weekend. So Liverpool, on the other hand, were just a machine. They're so calm. And the thing that I thought their best player, wow, it was Trent's delivery is something else. And the fullbacks were really bombing forward. But I thought Wijnaldum, the thing that Wijnaldum was able to do yesterday that we can't seem to do is he'd pick the ball up inside their own half around the semicircle and drive forward. And we don't have a runner with the ball. And Wijnaldum, he's quite pacey. Got past our midfield on a number of occasions to set up attacks, and he really dominated. I think he stepped up in the absence of Jordan Henderson yesterday. It's
become a really lost trait, I think, throughout the whole league.
Driving midfielders.
Yeah, I think so. It's something that I think our league is really missing at the moment. And you wouldn't say Wijnaldum is particularly a top driving midfielder, but I know what you mean. Under a little pressure, he can get you up the pitch a little bit and drives at people. I mean, like Dembele was unbelievable at it, and I'll always go back to him. Yeah. But the league has a real lack of people that seem to do that, and off the back of that, and it was the same with Dembele at Spurs actually, there probably wouldn't be the final pass or the final assist, but Wijnaldum will constantly get Liverpool 20-30 yards of territory.
Yeah.
And that's really important. I think what impressed me most about you last night was there was a period in the second half where they were worried.
Yeah.
You could feel it.
Yeah.
You could feel the atmosphere
I agree with
coming through the telly that they were worried. There was a period just either side
2-1.
of when you got the second goal where you were calm. You were calm. And I didn't feel... I spoke last week on the main pod and saying in the Norwich game, I never thought they wouldn't score. At that moment at 2-1... if you take away the fact there was so long to go and you think, yeah, it will come. But watching the game in that moment, I wasn't certain that they were going to pull it round last night like I was the week before. Now, that's something you can take as a major compliment.
I do. And had Salah's goal not squirmed through Fabianski and another 5 minutes had got on the clock, excuse me, that's when you might have seen the nerves creep up even more. And yeah, ultimately, it's really disappointing. But yeah, we take the positives from that, 100%.
In Arsenal's invincible season in 2004, there's a lot of people who like to dig Arsenal out and say the invincible team is a little bit tainted because of a game where Robert Perez dived to get a penalty in a draw against Portsmouth. Do you think that if Roberto was in goal for West Ham last night, that Liverpool's unbeaten record would be gone?
No. I don't understand the question. We'd have lost 4-0, 5-0. No, maybe not 4-0 or 5-0. We had an attacking threat yesterday.
I'm messing. I think it's more the point is you can't believe that such a consistent goalkeeper has done that.
No, and in the same game where he's made good saves as well, it's strange. He has enough goodwill with me that I'm like, you know what, leave it. I didn't expect to get anything out of Liverpool.
The support of West Ham fans.
So be it. There was a period, though, even when we were drawing 2-2 and we're out of the relegation zone, and psychologically I was like, just get me out of this flipping relegation zone, because I think getting out of it is going to have a massive impact to the team psychologically, putting someone else in there. This game on Saturday is something else. But I actually now think that the team are mentally in the right place to understand what they need to do to go and win, and will go and do it.
There was a game 2 years ago when Southampton come rocking to yours. It was a bit later in the season, and Arnautovic put on a show, and you were both in trouble. Southampton obviously aren't at the moment. I think you were 3 up at half time, maybe.
Yep.
And played really well. Problem is, Mark Hughes is not their manager anymore.
No, that's true. I think it's going to be a good game. I'm looking forward to it massively.
We can also take the confidence of the fact you've already beaten once this season. You obviously won there just before Christmas as well.
Yeah, we came from behind there last year as well.
I'm not sure that I agree with what you say about same system Saturday. Playing Liverpool away and Southampton at home are two very different things. I suspect he will.
I think,
and I'm not saying it would be a mistake.
Anderson was off the left quite a lot in last night's game. I think against Southampton he needs to get much closer to Antonio and play much more like a front two. And then you may have Snodgrass, Noble, Souček as a 3, and then Rice in behind. Souček can drop in.
You'll want to find a balance in that now, because that 3 of Rice, Souček and Noble look like they're going to stay together.
Yeah.
So where you have a different problem now is it's okay last night to funnel back into 4-2-3-1, 4-5-1, whatever you want to call it, without the ball. That's not going to be the way that the crowd are going to be happy seeing things go on Saturday, because you're going to be expecting to have a lot more of the ball. So you need to get the balance right between, say, if Noble's going to play that same position he played last night, the distance between Antonio and Noble has got to be a lot closer.
Yeah.
Now, do you want Noble that high? Or alternatively, you obviously have to get Anderson and Snodgrass inside. Mm-hmm. But then in doing that, do you forego a lot of width?
Maybe, we'll
particularly
see.
if, say, Ngakia, who did fine.
He did okay.
He did
for
fine.
A young kid coming up against a tough team.
We've seen of him is play 2 games against Liverpool, so we don't really know if there's attacking ability there or not.
No,
if they come inside, you've got to get him and Cresswell further forward.
They did feel like he did want to take a few risks on the ball, or be a ball player and bring it out a little bit. I do like Ngakia.
I thought he did fine.
Good player. I actually think Snodgrass may get dropped this weekend for Jared Bowen, mainly because it's not the first time that he's gone down grimacing early in a game recently. He has had his fair share of having to come off with a niggle. It's not often that he's lasted 90 recently, so I think he may even get rested. Like, Bowen's going to be chomping at the bit to get on, and they're both very similar players, left-footed, playing on the right. It wouldn't surprise me if Snodgrass did get rested this weekend for Bowen.
So you think he might be carrying a niggle?
He has been for a little while.
I just think his set pieces are such a weapon.
I mean,
and that really could be the difference for you, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
Bowen's
not saying
got
necessarily
good delivery.
Saturday. I'm
Anderson's
talking
got good delivery.
Upcoming games.
Yeah.
You would look at it in that system, and again, if you're saying those midfield 3 are staying together, then yeah, it probably is going to be Snodgrass or Bowen, or does Anderson get sacrificed? Yarmolenko, we believe, is still a little bit away.
No, he's a bit away. He's a bit away. So, interesting game though yesterday. I mean, it was an enjoyable watch. Even the last 10-15 minutes were not so enjoyable because of what could have been, but I'm not upset by any stretch from both games, City and this one.
Did you make it feel all right, like toiletry wise and
toiletry wise?
Yeah, because I someone said to me, "Is Suj watching this?" And I tweeted and I said, "Well, I imagine so, but I don't think you'll make it through the next half hour without following through."
Nah.
And then someone tagged a tweet of yours.
Yeah, I said I can't watch it for another half an hour.
I can't watch another half hour of it.
It was when we went 2-1 up, and you're like, 60 minutes on the clock, and every second goes slower.
This is what is really different. And I feel like unless you can be a fan and a supporter, and I think they're really two different things, right? When you're emotionally invested, sometimes the worst thing in the world in terms of your feeling during a football match is when you're winning.
Yeah.
And unless you've really felt that pit of your stomach feeling, you can't define that to people.
But yesterday was about beating the champions elect, who have been unbeaten all season in their own stadium,
getting a result for West Ham.
It was, but then there was the added drama that goes with it.
So which result hurt you more, last night or the Manchester City game?
Hurt me more last night.
That's what I'm saying. Because during the City game, you would just take, this is shit, move on.
Correct.
Whereas emotionally last night, you've gone through it a bit.
Yeah, for sure. And the speed with which we equalised, for example, when you lose an early goal to Liverpool, 8 minutes in,
you think you're finished.
And then like 5 minutes later, all right, here we go. Bit tasty, so yeah, I don't know. Fun.
Looks at clock, 75 minutes to go.
Yeah, well, at least we got something on the scoreboard. And someone tweeted me about the double clean sheets gone. I'm like, I couldn't care less.
What did you make of, because I actually missed the first couple of minutes of the game, there was a lot of banners up.
Yes, that's one thing we were going to talk about. I think it's getting more and more. It's something that's gathering momentum.
Are you pleased that's happened in a game like that rather than say this coming Saturday?
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Do it away from home and whatever, but I don't think there'll be as much this, because we really need this victory this weekend. So,
do you think you'll get it?
I do. I'm going in confident.
And as we didn't cover Liverpool last night, a couple of words, thoughts.
Well, we
Salah,
talked about
Mane,
them a little bit, but both equally likely still. I like Mane's getting more. Salah cuts in and takes shots. Mane gets on the end of Trent's crosses a little bit more. I like Mane more. Trent's dropping them in and Mane's coming in and getting on the end of it. You know, in the last season, what Man City did so well was Sterling and Sane back post on each other's crosses, and Trent sticking it on Mane at the back post is where it's at right now. It's those two.
How did Firmino not score last night?
It was dropping down at a funky angle. It was difficult.
There was another one where he got played on the edge of the box as well, and I feel like he'd normally put that away quite effortlessly. Yeah.
You know, it's the Anfield jinx on him right now.
Yeah, strange how these records seem to. And that's astonishing that we're going to get into March and Roberto Firmino hasn't scored a home goal for a team that's going to absolutely piss the league.
Yeah, mad. Should we talk about your lot?
We can a little bit. Just a couple of things I wanted to cover off. We spoke briefly about Dele Alli last week.
Yes.
And it seems that there might be a ban incoming.
Right, okay.
Apparently, it is being investigated and no decision has been made. It does make you question what takes quite so long. It was the same with Bernardo Silva, wasn't it? Okay, player X did this. Is it worthy of ban? Yes. Okay, ban him.
Whoa.
Oh, the phone's going off.
Should have switched it off.
Antonio Rudiger says that racism has won because some Spurs fans, much to my frustrations, and I didn't know this watching the game Saturday, were booing him.
Okay.
I would absolutely rather that didn't happen. I think some people will just stick up for their club.
Yeah, I mean...
And it just brings it back, and it didn't need to.
Yeah, I thought his statement was a little bit harsh because an investigation did take place. But I like to always see the best in the authorities and whatever.
The Spurs have said if new information comes to light, they'll reopen the case.
Yeah, so
I
feel like...
It's not going to, is it?
I don't think that they have brushed it under the carpet.
They ain't suddenly going to find a video footage that they couldn't find 2 months ago, are they?
No. So to say racism's won, I think is a bit harsh. The process was carried out as it should have been, in my opinion. But I also don't want to belittle his opinion.
There's no blame on Rudiger, and I said this.
Exactly.
We spoke about it 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I said when it had kind of got inconclusive, was my opinion was that what he thought he heard, he didn't. That's my opinion. I think that what he heard was cheat, and he misheard that for something else.
Yeah, quite possibly.
And that's okay. That's okay. Like, there's no blame on Rudiger. And we have to be... The thing is, I don't want to come and be critical of him as if to say, shut up, mate. no one's got proven.
Yeah.
Because at the same time, I want to be supportive for people who feel like that's gone on.
Of course, that's what I'm saying.
But I now feel a lot more certain that in this particular scenario, and I highlighted a scenario where a Spurs fan got done for racially abusing Serge Aurier a few weeks earlier. That I believe in this case it didn't happen.
And there's some mental stuff going on. Like we talked about the Porto guy a couple of weeks ago and that. And you look in the context of what's happening in terms of racism in football, mental.
I want to read you a quote.
Is it from Jose Mourinho?
How did you guess?
I don't know, because he is good at dropping doozies.
I would love to be at July 1st. I would love to be in pre-season, working with Harry Kane, Sissoko and Sonny. That's not possible. We have 3 long months to go in 3 competitions. We are still in it. It's going to be 3 long months. Reaction.
Why would you want the season to end?
I think most Spurs fans do.
Sure. It's all just on to the next
don't
one.
Don't say it.
But then you're in a race for 4th, and you're in the FA Cup, and you're in the Champions League.
Barely.
Yeah, I understand that, but you are. He's right. 3 competitions. Like, do the best you can in them.
Well, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, like I don't see any value in being defeatist at all.
One team showed on Saturday what can be done, and I didn't really say this on the main podcast last night, but I did say it on Saturday when we did the show. Was although Chelsea 100% well deserved to win, I didn't think they were great. I think they deserved to win by a bigger score than what the score was. Yeah. But I didn't think they were great. It was more the ineptitude of Tottenham.
Yep.
What they did show is how you can play correctly in that system versus how Tottenham completely inflexible in this 5-4-1. Chelsea became like a fluid 3-4-3 basically.
Yep.
You go back and look at the average positions from the weekend, which I looked at this morning. Like Tottenham just looks like an awful back 5. The 2 wide players kind of end up looking central when you look at it because they did occasionally change position. Chelsea, if you look at Alonso and Reece James's position, Reece James, for example, was basically Chelsea's second highest player during the game touch. And that's what you can do by just getting your 2 fullbacks / wing backs higher up the pitch. There was never anywhere for Tottenham to go. I still don't know. I couldn't possibly go and watch the game back, but I don't know what the design was on the day. And I think Wolves will beat us on Sunday because I think they're a superior football team.
I think a team of 11, say 7 out of 10 players that are organised, know their jobs and play to a system will beat a team of 11 superstars stroke individuals. And that's what will happen. Not that I'm saying that you guys are superstars or individuals. There's a few.
No shit, Sherlock.
There's a few imposters in there, but Wolves are a better team as all of them put together.
Let me ask you a trivia question.
Oh, fun.
What was Tottenham's possession on Saturday?
Oh. I'm going to go at 40%.
51.
Wow, okay. And I was stabbing high.
Chelsea had 64% of the ball in the first half. Tottenham had 67% of the ball in the second half.
Is that because they were sitting deeper? Of course.
Once Chelsea got their goals, they changed tactics and exposed Tottenham on the counter-attack. And again, goes back to what I said yesterday about Mourinho's reluctance or perhaps even inability to be able to change what his tactical plan was.
Yeah, there are a lot of red flags around he who must not be named now.
There's serious red flags after that one. Because, listen, while the team's winning, he'll get away with everything.
Yeah.
I told you, losing under this guy is unbearable. You don't feel anything after a game other than anger. I haven't walked away from a Tottenham game yet under Mourinho that we haven't won and gone, it's a bit unlucky there. Or final 15 minutes against Liverpool, I appreciated the effort that day. I didn't appreciate the way we played, but it's Liverpool. I can accept it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's been nothing impressive about any game that we haven't won under him.
Yeah, I feel for you a little bit here.
Don't feel for me, mate. I'm not the one fighting relegation.
Nah,
and that's why, and I don't even mean that as a dig, because I realise when I say some of these things and people go, bloody hell, James, exactly what you said, still in the Champions League, still in the FA Cup, still fighting for top 4. How ungrateful are you? And I get that. But it doesn't mean I have to be satisfied with what I'm watching.
No, it's actually papering over some deeper rooted cracks and deeper rooted problems that you have.
I think
it's like, give me an analogy. Alec Ferguson's last season at Man United when they won the title,
it was time to go.
Covered up a lot of deep-rooted problems, and being in these competitions, and like Chelsea when they got to the Champions League, when they won the Champions League or whatever, there were problems behind the scenes that actually were longer term and deeper rooted that got papered over, and that's what I think your situation is.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I am worried more than this season about next season. I think
you'll spend some money, surely.
Well, we have to. What I was going to say to counter is, I think if we do not seriously invest in the squad, in a proper central midfielder who can control the play and be a physical specimen in the centre of the pitch, and get 2 absolutely quality fullbacks, I think there's a serious danger that Tottenham will not finish in the top half next season.
What about the striker situation as well?
The striker situation is just bloody unfortunate.
Yeah? You think the injury... Because it's not the first... But both Kane and Son in the last 2 seasons, last year and this, have not played the full season. They've had periods out with injury.
Yeah. People go, there's no squad, right? So Eriksen's gone. Eriksen had to go anyway, right?
Correct.
So I know, obviously,
I
yes,
agree with Eriksen.
You're missing that creative player. I get that. Right? Put Kane and Son back into that squad now. With Bergwijn's been added. You've still got Ali, Lamela, Lucas. Ryan Sessegnon can play wide, and Ndombele can play as a 10. How many players do you need?
Yeah, true.
Seriously. And I get that. Of course, there's going to be a drop-off in ability from Kane to Son and then next, because Kane and Son over the course of a football season will get at least 40 goals. Of course, you're going to miss that. And of course, there's going to be a downgrade in quality. That's natural. It's the same thing if... Suddenly, Mane and Salah were not available from Liverpool. It's all right. Like Mourinho said last week, he said, they've still got Origi. All right. I've still got Lucas and Bergwijn.
Yeah, they're of a similar capability.
What are you talking about? I mean, the drop-off in ability between, say, Son to Lucas Bergwijn is not as big as it is from Mane to Origi.
Yeah.
Origi's a different player. He offers you different options and different abilities.
Yeah.
But actually, if you took Mane and Salah out of Liverpool, they would be in trouble. Now, not to the extent of us, because we've got so much quality in the midfield and the full-backs and centre-half, etc.
I think they would tighten up
But in terms of scoring goals, if you take Mane and Salah out of that team, you're taking 50, 60 goals out of the team, aren't you?
Wow, yeah, it's a lot.
So, yeah, all right, we're struggling a bit, but get on with it. It's not like he's got no one. Apparently, he's not impressed with Parrott in training. Listen, if that's how we're going to play, please play the kid. Whether he is or isn't good enough, just play him, man. Just fuck it. If it helps him for his future, just play him. Scrap this season, just play him.
Yeah. With 3 months to get him a few games under his belt. But everybody says he's all right, Troy Parrott.
Everybody thinks he's talented. It doesn't mean that he's physically ready for
Premier League football. That
said, he is physically far better equipped than a lot of other comparable players at his age. And, how long... My dad, he's right for a change when he says, all right, he's 18, is he or isn't he ready? And you look at someone like Mason Greenwood, and they're not particularly comparable as players because Mason Greenwood has a lot more technical ability, a bit more pace as well. But until you play these guys, how are you going to know?
Yeah.
You can't sit there and say, we've got no forwards, when whether he is or he isn't good enough, he certainly is one of the most talented young forwards at under 18 level in this country. So try it. Look at Arsenal and Nketiah's played the last couple of games.
Yeah.
And they've done it unforced.
Yeah.
They've left Lacazette out. Try it. You never know your luck, right?
That was something I was actually particularly happy when I saw Eddie Nketiah get his minutes, because pre-season on their tour of America, for the bits and bobs that I dipped into AFTV, for example, they were like, he looks like a talent. They were upset when he got sent on loan to Leeds, because it's like, if he's been great in pre-season, otherwise what's the point in keeping him? Just sell him. Called him back early, got minutes, got a goal, and that's what you want to see with youth coming through. Yeah,
unless it's at Arsenal.
That'll hurt always. But it's good to see Eddie Nketiah get his goal there, because I like seeing youth come through.
And what did Matthew 7:15 say?
Beware of false prophets. And most of them on Sky Sports News.
You're not wrong there.
Not really. I mean, they're the same everywhere you look and you listen, but I understand why they're saying it. And if we play like that every game between now and the season, we probably will stay up. But we ain't gonna. So let's see what happens.
You ain't going to stay up or you ain't going to play like that?
We ain't going to play like that every game.
Will you stay up, yes or no?
Right now, if it was just the straight A or B option, I'm going to say yes.
Good.
I'm a little fearful for Bournemouth and Villa, actually.
That's where I'm at the moment as well.
I don't think it's going to be by much, but I'm a little fearful. So there we go. That's a bit of Tottenham.
Nice. Cheers.
We're going to go and have a pancake now, mate, because it's pancake day. So everybody get out there, have your lemon and sugar.
I'm going to edit this audio.
Chocolate and banana, whichever pancake takes your fancy. Pancake day is the start of Lent. What are you giving up for 40 days?
Give up fucking Mourinho. If I could.
Yeah, I'm going to think of something and tweet it later what I'm going to give up for Lent. And it might be FPL.
It won't be FPL.
Set and forget for 40 days. Ooh.
Talking of that, I was driving home with Sujaf. We did the main podcast yesterday. And I went, I'm busting the Sky Cup, mate. I'm fucked. I'm out.
Still went through.
I made it through. I scraped through, yeah.
And that's a nice segue into letting you know that tomorrow we got Sky Fantasy Football coming at you. Our regular Planet Sky FF show. We have I captained Mane yesterday, so interesting.
Salah.
Yeah, so same, but different. And then we also have Clash of the Correspondents with Sai, our Newcastle correspondent, and Jack, our Burnley correspondent, and then the final plan and a few one live stream, all before this weekend. So do stay tuned for all of our FPL content. Anything else to add?
Nah.
Ciao for now.
Go you Spurs. Cue music, man, child.
The Fantasy Football Show.